Hello, everybody. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg on this Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. I'm Jeremy Crosby. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg. Hope you're having a wonderful day. You know, it's been a week, and it's about to get a lot warmer. So if you haven't taken advantage, I was outside last night hanging out with a friend, seen in a while, and just enjoying the nice weather. About 9 o'clock, I've not had very many mosquito issues this year, but where his place was, all of a sudden it was like, boom, they were there and they were pesky. So Andrew, I know you can't hear him today. He's in a different location. Maybe you have a lot of mosquito stuff out there. You have mosquito issues? He says yes, he does. Yeah, we haven't had that at our house for some reason. And we live in a marshy area, so you would expect it to be not too bad. So I don't know. But overall, this temperatures are going to continue to get hot. And we're going to talk about some of the dry weather coming up in the headlines today and making sure you stay safe from wildfires and that sort of thing. So we'll talk about that coming up in headlines. In the digest today, we're going to talk take a look back at the peer support from Fitchburg EMS's side of things. And then we do have a new construction update for you today as well on Fishhatchee Road, including talking about the Cahill Main closure that'll be happening starting next week. So a lot to get to here in the show. Let's start with Pack in the Park, though. Want to make sure you have the save the date because it is coming up fast. And we now know the movie, Tom and Jerry, the movie. Andrew, have you seen this one? Andrew says, no, he hasn't seen it, so we can't tell you if it's good or bad. So you're just going to have to come out and find out yourself. Anyone who's interested in come out. Free carnival games, inflatables, prizes, and, of course, the screening of Tom and Jerry. It's going to be a lot of fun. Carnival games start at 6. Movie starts at 8:15. All right, progress on the new pickleball courts and path at McGaw Park, Recreation Park, and sharing some of these photos of what's been going on out there. Looking good. That's what I'm saying. Looking good there. Again, some new pickleball courts coming in, and then I said new paths being laid as well. So progress is being made there at McGaw Park. All right, Bike for Kids Donation Day. We now have that date. It's going to be September 18th. And some businesses who've already committed to collecting some of these bikes will be Delta Beer Lab, WPS Health and Solutions, Lexus of Madison, and Bree Stevens Field, to name a few. We need about 25 volunteers, it says, to pull this off. So if you have a few hours to spare on Saturday, September 18th, please save the date. Shifts include attending a bike to donation station where you'll greet the donors, answer questions about Bike for Kids and the organization and hand out literature. That shift is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're interested in signing up, just got to head over to the website. Guess what? We're going to share where you can find that information when we post up our headlines. All right, for the Madison Metropolitan School District, Madison Promise. This is the learning virtual learning platform. It says we're excited to provide a virtual learning option for students in 6th through 12th grade for the 2021-2022 school year. To enroll in the Madison Promise, students will need to make a semester commitment to the program. Application window is July 12th through August 6th. Students will need to complete an online form and answer several essay questions. Students will then be notified of acceptance into the program by Friday, August 27th. The first of our virtual information sessions was held yesterday, but there's still more coming, it says here. So July 22nd happening here at 3:30, 4:30 p.m. as well. And then the session will be held for Hmong viewers. That's going to be July 27th and both at noon and 4 p.m. All this is online. We'll also share the link for this information. All right, drought conditions are improving in Wisconsin, but we still got a long ways to go. Here's a look at that map. Drought conditions are getting better. We had severe drought in the southeastern part of the state. That has come back a little bit. However, we're still in the moderate drought conditions. So keep that in mind. And quickly here, stay prepared for wildfires. Make sure that you clean stuff around your house and keep things away. There's been a lot of wildfires out west, and we just want to make sure that you watch and stay safe and keep stuff away from your house in case you will live near wildfire or wildfire area could be. All right. Take a quick break. Coming up next, we open up the digest. We have your Fitchburg EMS talking about their peer support program next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from Fitchburg EMS, it's your Deputy Chief, Jeff Doslick. Jeff, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. Good morning, afternoon.
Whatever time this is. Yes. Hello, Jeff. Today we're going to take on a very serious topic and something we've actually talked about on this show in different capacities, not only with you, but with fire, police, and many others. But peer support. Definitely a big topic in public safety world for sure, and peer support. We'll break it all down for you. I don't want to steal your thunder by any means, but why is or what is peer support first off, Jeff, and how are we using it here in Fitrona?
Yeah, so peer support, the old adage, that we used to have in the early days of, police, fire, and EMS is, just suck it up, just handle it. It is what it is. Take it, And I think that those days are gone. We see a lot of bad things. Sometimes we see a lot of bad things pretty quickly. And for peer support, it allows us to reach out to each other, make sure that that we're okay, that we have resources available to our staff in the event that somebody's not okay. And we used to, I'm old school. I've been doing it a long time, and you hold everything in, and then eventually that starts to eat at you. And we see job performance issues. We see issues at home with families. We see issues with drinking, alcohol, drugs, and and in some cases we see suicide. And so our attempt with peer support is to make sure that we can intervene quickly, recognize that folks are having issues with either a call or accumulation of a whole lot of calls that just kind of come to a head at a certain point. And that's why we were really excited to join the fire department, the police department in Fitchburg, and be part of the peer support team.
Yeah, it's hard to explain in emergency or I like to say public safety to kind of cover all spectrums. But the stress level that comes with the job is actually part of the lessons that you actually learn. I can speak from doing EMT school that's a big section in there to begin with. So what are you guys taught, the men and women of public safety, on ways of dealing with stress?
So as part of the peer support team, our focus is to recognize that there was an incident that potentially could be harmful to a provider, and make sure that we're reaching out quickly to them, and really just kind of listen. It's a lot of times, and because I like to talk, that sometimes it's hard to be quiet and open up your ears and your heart and try to understand where somebody's coming from and not make a prejudgment, not to say things like, "Oh, I've been there, I've done that. It'll be okay. You'll be okay." Those things aren't acceptable. We have to understand that how I deal with something might be different than how my partner might be dealing with something, or another fire department's member might be dealing with something. So to understand where they're coming from, to listen to what their feelings are, to offer some ways as a peer support member, to offer some ways that they can cope with those with some of the feelings that they have, and to remind them that what they do is important. That without them, we wouldn't have the emergency services, we wouldn't have police, fire, EMS, and then to make sure that they understand that there's support out there, either through the peer support team, or professionally, that they need to reach out and understand that that's how we get through some of this stuff.
Uh, for people who don't know, Jeff, a lot of times public safety will do debriefings after major events. Might not even be a fatality necessarily, or somebody who passed away. It could be just an intense call of whatever nature. Why does public safety do that? Do the debriefing, and how does that fit into the peer support?
There's debriefing, there's diffusing. Both of those things are important to make sure that members, immediately just don't go home and start to think about all the things that went on. They don't have an opportunity to talk to their peers, to people out there that do understand, and to do those things rather quickly after the incident allows us to get some of those feelings out, do it in a way that is non-judgmental, with the peer support team that we have with the fire department, the police department in Fitchburg, that they don't take some of that stuff home right away, have a chance to sleep on it, and then don't have an opportunity to go out and express, really how they feel. We're really fortunate that the people that do emergency services have family members that understand what they go through every day. And well, I know that I can go home and have a conversation with my wife about what happened during the day, and she understands. There's a lot of family members that don't understand how stressful the job really can be, and when you have those critical incidents, even if it's not a fatality, there has to be a mechanism that we can all sit down and talk about what happened. There's times where we talk about what went really well. There's times that we talk about things that didn't go so well, and how we can, it's not really a judgment on, well, let's talk about the call and could we change policy and procedure. That's really not what that is about. It's really about, how do you feel things went on your end? How do you feel things could have been better for you? What did you see? And I think the more people talk about those kinds of things, they understand we're all in this together, and maybe what you're feeling is the same thing that the person next to you is feeling, and you're not alone in that. And I think that's what's important about doing diffusings, doing debriefings. Maybe it's a one-on-one peer support at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think a lot of times good taking that component, and then somebody still feeling pretty shaken up by it. I assume that you could take them up with that peer support person to help them talk it out more, and take the steps that they need to work through it. And it's not something that you have to get over necessarily. It's not something that you just have to come to terms with it for what it's worth, and whatnot. As far as the peer support folks go, what is some of the training that you're going through and creating these peer support helpers? Because it's a group effort, so there's a lot of people involved.
Right. The CIVNIC put on a couple of trainings for us that went to that are part of the peer support team. There's kind of different levels, and that's the training that I went through. Christy and Sarah as well with Patrona EMS went through those trainings through CIVNIC, and it really taught us the steps in what a diffusing would be, the steps in what a debriefing is, and then talked a lot about being compassionate, having really good listening skills as opposed to really good talking skills, and that training I think was valuable for me to understand really what people are going through. I mean, I used to be the old adage, I don't need to talk about it, I'm fine. And I learned, I've learned the hard way that, through some of the depression that I've gone through with EMS, that's really not the way to handle it. And that training allows us to understand what others are going through and how we can talk to them and try to elicit a conversation about an incident versus giving them our opinion on what that incident should have went like or how they should be feeling. Well, you don't need to feel that way. Why do you feel that way? I mean, those are just really closed-end questions that don't allow people to express themselves.
Yeah. Final question, Jeff, and it's something we were talking about before. But if you see a story, you hear a story of somebody that's passed away because of depression, maybe they took their life, whatever the case may be. You hear it on the news, you hear it on. From your perspective and with the peer support, how should we gauge that as a community? How do we gauge that the public safety is hurting in so many different ways with the above and beyond stress of a pandemic, let alone everything else out there? How, from your standpoint, how would you explain that to the community?
I guess I would want the community just to understand that, I would venture to guess 95% of us are in this job, obviously not for the money and not for the fame and not for the fortune, all that kind of stuff. We're in it because we really want to help people. And that's why police, fire, and EMS do this. And just to understand that our job is stressful and we see a lot of things that we're trained to see and we're trained to deal with, but it still affects us, where maybe the general public is not trained to see, a really bad car accident with a fatality or, a mass shooting with, people hurt and screaming. And just to understand, put themselves in our shoes when that happens, and just be sort of careful about some of the questions that you might ask your friends or you might ask a provider. I mean, we get it all the time, and there's probably every provider that will listen to this is, what's the worst thing you've ever seen? Well, I mean, I could tell you 50,000 worst things that I've ever seen. And it's not one thing that sits on your heart. It's a cumulative thing that, the job brings to it. And, it saddens me when I learn of, a provider that has committed suicide. And then you think about all the times that you may have interacted with them. And you just didn't listen really good with your heart. So just understand that there's a lot of stuff that we go through, and that we also, there's also all the other pressures that come with being a good provider. There's pressures at home, there's pressures with finances personally, there's if you sit in a command staff or a management position, there's pressures to all the stuff that comes along with that. And then just to open your heart and have a little bit of understanding when it comes to that. And eventually we will share. We will sit down and, there'll be a point where I can tell you the worst call that I ever had. But that takes some time, even right now.
Yeah. No, Jeff, I think it's great perspective, and glad to talk about it. And I said we've got a series on this with the peer support group, so it's been nice to share these stories and talk about all of it together, and we look forward to talking more about it with you and the rest of the peer support group here in the city of Fitchburg. All of you have done great work and have a lot of great work to come too. So yes, we appreciate your time and talking with us on this and your perspective. And Jeff, we'll look forward to having you back on the show real soon.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
You bet. Jeff Doslick, Fitchburg EMS. Talking about peer support, and we'll keep following up on this here on Fact TV. Take a quick break, more to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be flood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today in studio for your Fitchburg Road Construction Update, Andrew McFadden. How does it feel to hear me in person and not just on the computer?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to be here.
I'm nervous. Are you?
A little bit. It feels more real. Yeah,
it feels more. Everything else before. Well, right. I miss your headset.
Yeah.
So this will sound a little better, I guess.
Yeah. Probably.
The cool mics and stuff. So.
Yep, for sure.
I'm talking about this. We're here to talk construction, and Fish Hatchery Road is booming. I see they crushed all that concrete already.
Yep, for sure.
Pretty cool.
I think they have a little bit more just from kind of where that pile was sitting, but yeah, no, for sure. And they've now kind of spread it out. They started rocking all the northern portions, kind of in between Cahill up to High Ridge in that area. So, yeah.
And I also saw yesterday, lucky, and I should have stopped and taken a picture of it. They laid the pedestrian bridge down yesterday by the golf course.
Yeah, that was cool. Yep, I was up there, checked it out after they did it. Yeah, it looked good.
Did you take any pictures, Bill? Andrew?
I do have a picture. Yeah.
We have to have that picture.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right. All right. The big thing that's coming up is the closures. We talked about the closures at the intersections last week. The first major closure, if you will, closure at Cahill.
Yeah. So that's going to be closing next Tuesday, the 27th, into through August 7th on Saturday. And so we will still have High Ridge open that whole time and Caddis, that full signal there. And we have the message boards out there right now letting people know. So please, if you go from the north, if you're traveling from the south going north, just go up to Caddis and turn in there. If you're traveling from the north coming south, and just pull in either to High Ridge or Caddis and get there. So we'll have that going on for the next kind of 2 weeks, starting Tuesday. And then after that, starting on Monday, August 9th, we'll have High Ridge closed and Cahill will be opened up. So that's the big stuff coming up in terms of traffic closures and that sort of thing. Otherwise, we definitely have a lot of kind of cool storm work going on out there. They're rocking, so they're undercutting all that stuff, pulling up the existing dirt and laying down that newly crushed concrete. So that's definitely exciting that we have some electrical work, some new conduit being laid down there. And, some concrete, some bridge work, the modular block walls, and the box culvert. So, yeah, a lot of work going on.
Just about everything.
Yeah. No, we have a lot of this is kind of like, the biggest mobilization where we got a lot of different crews on site. So, doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, cool. I definitely would suggest for folks traveling through there that allow extra time. Mm-hmm. Be patient with the crews. You got trucks coming in and out of there, in and out of traffic there. So you got to be safe. Any other safety tips, Andrew, that you could share in that corridor?
For sure. I know I've gotten some complaints about trucks pulling out and stuff. It's tricky. I think timbers get hot when when there's delays and stuff like that. So just please, everybody, try to be patient with us, and we all also are telling our crews, to be courteous and make sure we're giving plenty of space. But yeah, please go slow, give our crews some space to work, and we'll make it through this. Hopefully, by November, everything will just be a perfect new road, and we can look back on this and say, this worked out pretty well. But if there are issues, feel free to call us. I know I hear a lot from folks, and certainly with some of these closures. We had a lot of complaints coming up with the Caddis signal timing, so we did update that last week, and so we'll be continuing to monitor that throughout these closures. So.
And talk about the detour, because I just took the detour for the first time, too, during kind of the peak traffic time. I don't need you to, you don't have to spell it out, lane by lane, but that is a good alternative to get around the project.
We definitely have pedestrian and bike detours for things that we're fully closing. Certainly southbound Fish in the PM peak is usually when we see the most backups. And so, certainly the detours there would be to take Beltline over to Seminole or to Verona Road to kind of get down back to McKee if that's where you're going, and then coming back or utilizing Lacey. So, I think those are kind of the biggest ones. I'm happy to kind of, point that out on the website and kind of give you some pictures of what those detours look like.
Well, how about this, Andrew? Where can they find all that information?
Sure. Yeah. If you go online to the project website on the city's website, we have construction updates weekly, and so we just posted this one and all the detour plans and that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. They're good route, easy route. So I took one of them posted routes and worked out really well. So got me around the traffic, and I think more people could utilize that certainly during that peak time because I was almost backed up to the belt line on the south. So definitely plan ahead. All right, we got some chip sealing continuing this week. Tell us about the chip sealing going on up in the Post Road area.
Yeah, we got Post Road Index out on East Clayton as well, and so that's kind of put down emulsion up front, then they lay the chips down, and then they come back the next day to kind of sweep those up. So you'll see, today a lot of that work got done. Please don't park on there though yet because we're coming back tomorrow to sweep that up. So, but yeah, that should be all kind of wrapped up. There's a few little spots on Osmondson north of McKee that they'll be finishing up either this week or early next week. So.
What is chip sealing overall? Like, what is the idea behind that?
Yeah, so that's kind of a preservation treatment. So we don't do that on kind of the roads that are really far gone. It's kind of the more like 5 to 10 year roads that were recently constructed, and really just kind of gives that a new surface running course and prevents kind of water infiltration, just to extend the life of the road. So we also typically do chip sealing along with that, or crack filling along with that, just to again just try to prevent that water to get into the roadbed.
Yeah, it doesn't stay. Right now it's pretty dusty and stuff, but that definitely goes away after time and as that starts to
and certainly once you sweep it gets a lot better, but there still might be a few kind of loose aggregate in there for a couple weeks, and then definitely gets better.
All right, fantastic. Finally, just over at our US 14 Highway 14 McCoy road work, how is that proceeding?
Yeah, work is continuing there. There's no kind of permanent closures there. It's just kind of off and on, kind of intermittent while they need to do some work. So, look out for delays there, but otherwise I don't have any specific closures or anything to report.
All right, finally, South Sain Road project. We're getting close to starting that project. What do you have for an update there?
Yeah, so right now we're still on track for next week to start that up. So that will be the water main project followed up by the street resurfacing project. Pending permits, we're still kind of working through that. So it might get pushed to the following week, but otherwise we're still shooting for next week.
All right, perfect. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for your time. Nice seeing you in person for once.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully, we have to take this out on the road one time before construction season. We got plenty of time. But
yeah, maybe we could do it on the Ped Bridge or something.
I was going to just say that. We should go out to the bridge and stand there. All right, you got it. We're going to make it happen. All right, Andrew McFadden, information's on the website, fitchburgwi.gov. We'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps! Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Brandon met a girl on a dating app. He finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving.
She must be a keeper.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for today. I want to thank Andrew McFadden for joining us and sharing the information on the construction update. Hit the website, fitchburgwi.gov to learn more. It's right there on the page for watching us. Stay connected with Back TV and have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another TF.